I was traveling for work when I checked into the hotel. A standard business trip, nothing special. I had booked a single room just for the night before I had to catch an early flight. The hotel wasn't particularly nice, just one of those generic highway-side places. Clean enough, but lacking warmth. The lobby smelled faintly of old carpet and cleaning supplies. A tired-looking woman at the front desk handed me my keycard and gave a polite but empty smile. "You're in room 303. I nodded, took my bag, and headed for the elevator. It was an old one, the kind where the doors shudder slightly when they close, the overhead light flickering just enough to make you uneasy. As the doors slid shut, I suddenly felt a strange sense of discomfort, like I was being watched. I shook it off. It was late, I was tired, and I just needed sleep. When I got to the third floor, something felt wrong. The hallway was too quiet, eerily silent, with no sounds of guests, no muffled television noises, not even the hum of air conditioning. The carpet felt almost too soft beneath my feet, absorbing all sound as I walked. The air smelled stale, as if it hadn't been circulated in a long time. The overhead lights flickered slightly, casting long, strange shadows along the narrow corridor. I found room 303 and slid the key into the lock. The door didn't budge. I tried again. Nothing. Frustrated, I knocked lightly. No answer. I sighed and turned to walk back to the elevator to ask for another key. But then, the door to room 303 creaked open on its own. Not all the way, just enough to see inside. A sliver of darkness. A gust of air seeped out, unnaturally cold, like stepping into a freezer. I hesitated for a moment. Every rational part of my mind told me to turn around and leave, but my exhaustion won. I stepped inside. The door slammed shut behind me. I jumped, spinning around, my pulse spiking. The room was silent. My fingers fumbled for the light switch, and after a moment of panic, I found it and flicked it on. The room looked normal, mostly. The walls were painted a dull beige, the carpet a generic brown. There was a bed, a desk, a TV mounted on the wall. Everything you'd expect in a cheap hotel room, but something about it felt off. The bed was unmade. The blankets were rumpled, the pillows slightly indented, as if someone had just been lying there. The closet door was slightly ajar. The bathroom light was on, and the air carried a strange, musty scent of decay. I swallowed hard, my stomach tightening with unease. Maybe housekeeping had forgotten to clean the room. Maybe another guest had been assigned this room before me and left without checking out. 100 explanations ran through my head, none of them comforting. Then the bathroom door creaked open. I hadn't touched it. I didn't want to look, but I did. The mirror inside was fogged, like someone had taken a hot shower, and in the condensations, written with a finger, was a message: "Who let you in?" I took a step back, my breath catching in my throat. Something felt wrong, deeply, terribly wrong. Then the TV flickered on by itself. Static at first, then a video. It was footage of my room, from the corner, from somewhere above. And in the video, I saw myself standing there, staring at the TV. But there was someone behind me, a dark figure, tall, motionless, standing in the shadows near the bathroom door. I spun around. Nothing. My breath came in ragged gasps. The room was empty. I grabbed my suitcase and bolted for the door, yanking at the handle. Locked. My hands shook as I twisted and pulled. I pressed my ear against the door, listening for anything in the hallway. Silence. Then, a whisper, right behind me, "You don't belong here." My body went cold. I could feel something standing inches away from me, its presence heavy, suffocating. I could hear slow breathing, raspy and wet, like someone struggling to inhale. I didn't want to turn around, and I felt it, fingers lightly grazing my shoulder. I squeezed my eyes shut, praying I was imagining it, that none of this was real. Then the lights flickered, and in a brief moment of darkness, something moved. I don't remember what happened next. I must have blacked out, because the next thing I knew, I was outside the hotel, standing in the parking lot. The sun was rising. My suitcase was at my feet. I turned back to look at the building, and my stomach dropped. There was no third floor. The hotel had only 2 floors. Room 303 didn't exist. I stood there, heart hammering in my chest, my mind racing, trying to make sense of what had happened. Had I imagined everything? Had I dreamed it? But my suitcase was here. I was here. I wasn't asleep. And then I saw it, a window on the 2nd floor. The curtain moved, and behind it, a shadow, watching me. I turned, climbed into my car, and drove. I didn't look back. But now, nights later, as I lay in my own bed miles away, I hear something scratching at my door, and a whisper, "You don't belong here."